Epstein. According to new reporting, the president is urging House Republicans to vote for a bill that would direct the Justice Department to release all remaining Epstein-related files within 30 days. On social media, he says, quote, "We have nothing to hide," and calls on Republicans to back the measure. Now, here's the irony. His own Justice Department works for him. If he truly wanted maximal transparency, he could just instruct his Attorney General today to release as much as the law allows and to ask a court to unseal everything else. Or he could do what he does, which is just release it all and not worry about the legality. He's acting as if Congress must force his administration to act, even though he already holds the authority. Now, the timing is hard to ignore. The shift comes after old emails resurfaced, tying him more closely to Epstein than ever before. And after months of anger coming from parts of his own base accusing him of helping to cover things up. So this isn't some brave stand for sunlight. It's political theater designed to appear bold while keeping firm control over what actually comes public. Okay, what's going on? Trump saying, "I now endorse the idea of releasing the Epstein files, and I call on all members of Congress to vote for this," is about as credible as his claim 10 years ago of, "I've got a great alternative to Obamacare, and I'm going to let you know in about 2 weeks." Nonsense. Let's dig a little deeper. Trump is clearly feeling the heat about Epstein because the pressure is mounting this week. Perhaps even before you see this show, there's going to be a vote in the United States House of Representatives, and there appear to be enough votes, including from Republicans, to force the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. This appears to be Trump essentially trying to change the story, change the narrative, change his positioning, and get ahead of this story since he knows he's already going to lose. He took Representative Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Reports say brought some of them to the Situation Room, twisted arms, basically said, "I'm going to destroy you and your career if you don't cut out this nonsense about asking for the Epstein files." And they're like, "No, sorry, we'll do anything else for you." And I mean anything else for you, but we won't do that. And now he realizes he's going to look really guilty if members of his own party provide the winning votes demanding the Department of Justice release the Epstein files. And that's just not a good look. Okay, let's stand back a minute and be honest with each other. Okay, I'm going to just say out loud the loud part that most people think that I've come across, but are afraid to say if they're on NBC News or CNN or even Fox News or MSNBC. I'm going to say the loud part or the silent part out loud. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist in general. I don't believe in most conspiracies, but certainly there are people who get together to do bad things and then don't want anyone else to know about it. So I am not making allegations here, and I have zero proof for what I'm about to say. What I'm saying now is an answer to the question of, TJ, what do you really think is going on here with Trump? Why does he act so incredibly guilty about this Epstein file thing when in other situations, Stormy Daniels, grabbing women by the you-know-what, allegations that he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll, he always seemed to act like, I don't care. That's okay. That's just me. Nothing to see here. But hey, I relish it. Let's talk about it even. He always seemed to be absolutely, utterly shameless about a gazillion other scandals that for normal politicians would have destroyed their careers, destroyed their lives, destroyed their reputation. Why is it so different this time? Why does he genuinely seem almost like a normal politician caught in a huge scandal that he knows is going to ruin his career? Why is he suddenly acting like, John Edwards when confronted with evidence that, hey, you have a love child and you never told us about it? Why is that? I'm simply going to use what I believe to be reason that is nonpartisan, that is non-ideological. I consider myself as a sane, sensible centrist. I'm not here as some political commentator for you. I'm here as a communications expert, personal development expert. So to me, when I see Trump continuing to deny this, and as he did last week say, oh, Epstein was a Democrat, so this is only a Democrat problem. That's just the lamest form of spin I've ever heard in my entire life. And let's be candid, Donald Trump is usually really good at spinning things. He's good at changing the topic in a way that everyone says, oh yeah, this is more interesting. And he's doing this in a way that people are like, no, that's complete BS. And why are you trying to change the subject of this with something so obviously illogical? So I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud of what I think happened. Again, I'm not alleging this. So if you are an attorney working for the administration, don't think about defamation suits. This is an opinion news analysis program. This is not a news program. Here's what I think happened. I think clearly, as Jeffrey Epstein said in one of his emails that was released last week, Trump knew about the girls. I think it's a lot worse than that. I think Trump did spend some time alone, maybe not with Virginia Giuffre, because she says she never saw Trump do anything inappropriate. My guess is that Trump knew what Jeffrey Epstein is about. And so when he said, you and I both, in his birthday letter, which he signed his name on a naked woman in the pubic area, when he said, yeah, you and I both have a special secret that keeps us young, I'll just say what I think everyone actually thinks. His secret is if you have sex with really, really, really attractive young girls, not children, but those under the age of 18, it keeps you young. I think that was the secret that Trump was alluding to in the birthday note. I do not think that Trump was having sex with 10-year-old girls. I don't. Nor does it appear that that was what Epstein was doing. And I'm not going to go down the Megyn Kelly route and say he's technically not a pedophile. I'm not going down that discussion rabbit hole. Here's what I think happened. I think that Trump was not he was not the big party guy. He doesn't drink at all. He wasn't one of the more rambunctious guys partying, drinking, going crazy at Epstein parties at 4 a.m. I do think from time to time, the two of them got together, as has been documented. Just the two of them, had a party at Mar-a-Lago and a dozen or so models. Now, they may have all been above age. Here's my guess as to what Donald Trump is so embarrassed about. I think at one point he went to either Epstein's house or Epstein Island, and it was the two of them. And Epstein said, hey, let's have a party. And he brought over a whole bunch of attractive young women, girls, a bit nebulous. Trump liked one of them, and she was probably 6 feet tall, an absolute bombshell, a knockout. And he had sex with her. I think that's what happened. And he thought, oh, well, she's really mature. She must be at least 25. I'm guessing he probably thought that. And the next morning, when they're both leaving, he notices it's kind of odd. There's a video camera there, probably just for security. And he said, oh, by the way, so when did you graduate from college? He said that to the person he spent the night with. And she said, I'll start college in a couple of years. I'm currently 16. And maybe after that, he never went back. And maybe that's what, but I have to think something like that happened, that Trump is so worried that he would meet the legal definition of a sexual abuser, of a child molester. 16 is not considered above the age of consent in Florida or the Virgin Islands, where Epstein Island was. And he might not know if the footage is anywhere. He might be thinking it's somewhere buried of me naked with a 16-year-old child. Again, I'm not alleging this. I have zero factual information. I'm just telling you the way I've seen the world work and the way people deny things and hide things and talk about issues. That is the most plausible rationale for why Donald Trump is so intent on burying this story and so much acting like he's really guilty and claiming just preposterous things like, oh, Epstein was a Democrat, so it's only a Democrat problem, and I'm ordering my Department of Justice to only investigate Epstein with Democrats. I mean, there's just no other rational reason I can think of for him to act like this. I mean, why would he care if other people's have their careers ruined? If all of a sudden, it's implausible to me to think that there's some video of a young girl and the former president of Harvard, who's been implicated in this, cavorting around and clear sexual abuse taking place. And for Trump to care about, well, I really care about Larry Summers' reputation. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to him. So let me take the political hit to protect someone I've had a friendly conversation. That's implausible. Nobody believes that Trump is trying to help any other political act famous. Forget that anyone well known as a Democrat, like a Bill Clinton, but the idea that he would try to help any other Republican to save their skin by causing damage to him, that's implausible. That just goes against everything we've ever learned about him throughout his entire career. So that's just not plausible. And that's why this issue is fascinating to a lot of people, because there are many, many MAGA supporters, Trump supporters, who sincerely believe that the entire world is run by an elitist cabal of genuinely evil people, primarily men, who, when they're pulling all the strings, controlling the world to make things awful for the little guy and give themselves more wealth, that's what they do by day. By nighttime, they are molesting children. They are pedophile. This is a core part of the QAnon mindset. So when more and more and more evidence points to the fact that their guy, Trump, was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, that he knew about it, that he may have been part of it, you're like, that's one area we're not going to give him a pass on. So this is my theory. What do you think? I've yet to hear what I feel is an intellectually honest person give a theory that answers these fundamental questions in a way that's coherent. Because certainly saying, as Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, does, this is just all a partisan witch hunt, and this is just or as Trump says, radical lunatic left worrying about this. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Republican congresswoman, you can call her a lunatic and you wouldn't get a big disagreement from me. But nobody, and I mean nobody, considers her to be a part of the lunatic left. Lunatic right, maybe, but not the lunatic left. Just nobody believes that. And if you're going to try to deflect criticism, if you're going to try to create a narrative that's plausible, you can't say things that are palpably implausible. Because that's what's coming out of Johnson's mouth. That's what's coming out of the White House's mouth. So I put forth a theory here. Again, full disclaimer, I have no evidence that Trump had sex or sexually abused, would be the more correct term, a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, or a 17-year-old. But as I rack my brain trying to figure out what could possibly be driving him to take all these actions, I can't come up with any other plausible theory. If you have one, I would love to hear. Please let me know. Now, the other thing, just so insipid about this, him generating headlines, and shame on the New York Times and other media outlets letting Trump grab the headlines by saying he's calling on all Republicans to vote for this initiative, is if he wanted to release the documents, they would be released in 5 minutes. He could just, I say 5 minutes, 5 seconds. All he has to do is post something on Truth Social that says, hey, Bondi, release the files. And if not, you're going to be escorted out of the office in 5 minutes. She'd do it. My theory, again, it's just a theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. My theory is he's going to tell her, release all the documents, just don't release anything with my name in it. Or release a couple where it says, okay, we were at a same public gathering, a charity event in front of 10,000 other people. So release a few documents where my name is in with his, and no possible person could say it makes me look bad. And then everything that makes me look bad, just burn it, delete it, put it on a drive somewhere and take it out to a dumpster, or blow it up, or put it in one of those car compacting machines and smash it up. That's the only thing I can see that's plausible.